Welcome to a very festive Bramwell Lane here in Sheffield. It is the penultimate fight week of the year for Matchroom Boxing. Brook returns to action. No mince pies today. We're hoping for some chocolate brownies on Saturday night. We're also hoping for a fight with Amir Khan next year between Brook and Khan, but potentially, Darren, that was put in a little bit of jeopardy with some rumours circulating earlier this week about that fight with Terence Crawford. Difficult one.
Do you know what? It looks as if Amir Khan doesn't want the fight.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter how you look at it, it looks like he doesn't want the fight. But you have to take your hat off to him, because if that fight does come off, you know, we're talking about superstar, one of the pound for pound, arguably the pound for pound #1 in Terence Crawford, you know, and it shows that he's still got aspirations to be a world champion. I don't know, it's a shame for us British boxing fans. We want to see that fight, don't we? You know, it's the fight we want to see, but it just looks destined not to happen. I don't know, there's a number of things stopping it from happening.
Riddick Bowe famously never fought Lennox Lewis when he was supposed to, threw the belts in the bin. He was at the Wilder Fury fight last weekend, and it's one of those things that you feel like that never leaves a fighter. If they miss an opportunity that the public are crying out for and the public want to see, you get a feeling they never forgive that fighter. If Amir Khan doesn't take this fight, is that one that the public will always hold against him for as long as his legacy continues?
I don't think his career will be defined on the fight that he never had. I think what he's achieved, going back in the amateurs, that silver medal and the world titles he's won, the opponents he's fought and where he's fought, I don't think his career will be defined or his legacy will be affected by not taking the Brook fight. But it will be one of those that we sort of scratch our heads and say, why didn't it happen? And we'll ultimately all be gutted that it never. You know, we want to see it. There's needle there that don't like each other. When there's bad blood, when there's genuine bad blood, it does build a fight, and look, I've still got my fingers crossed and my toes crossed. I'm hoping it will happen, but it just seems like it's destined not to.
Before Brook even thinks about that, though, he's got the Australian Michael Zerafa to look forward to on Saturday night. We've had a little look at him. Decent fighter.
We've had a look, haven't we? And he's campaigned a lot at middleweight, fought Peter Quillen, and he put up a really good effort. I don't know if anyone's out there seen it, but he really does sort of, you know, he boxes well, he counter punches well. He's not afraid to get stuck in, which I like about him. You know, he's really letting the shots go against the bigger. I mean, when you watch the fight, Peter Quillen looks huge in comparison to Zerafa, and he's still letting the shots go, still, you know, really, really loading up with the shots. So this is going to be exciting. You know, he's coming to fight. He knows that the opportunity, if he's to beat Brook, can lead to a world title. So it's huge.
Yeah, saw Brook up at middleweight for that kind of out of the blue fight against Gennady Golovkin. He performed brilliantly there and was stopped. Obviously had that fractured eye socket, came back down then to fight Errol Spence, probably the best around at welterweight. So really hasn't taken it easy, and this is him really. We're looking at his new sort of natural weight. Obviously there's talk of him fighting Amir Khan at 147, but super welter seems to be where Brook looks the healthiest, and expecting to see him at his best.
I've just been talking to him, Chris. He looks good. He looks full. You know, you usually see
doesn't look drawn.
Look, weeks before the fight, Kell usually looks drawn. You know, we're a day before the weigh-in. You know, he looks full, he looks good. I just asked him how's the weight. He said spot on. So yeah, you know, his new camp, his new team, he's gelling well. So yeah, everything seems to be going well for Kell, other than the Amir Khan confirmation.
Yeah. Well, speaking of welters and super welters, we've got one of the rising stars in the 147 division on his way up, the Commonwealth welterweight champion Josh Kelley.
Come on, mate.
He's just having a chat with security.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, he's okay. Hello, mate. How you doing?
What's happening?
Welcome to the show.
How are you, mate?
Second appearance on the show, I think this is. Great, yeah. Great step up for you on Saturday night. Avaneshan, he's a seasoned campaigner, a little bit fresher than Molina as well. He's 5 years younger, but spoke to Adam Booth in the hotel yesterday, and he just said, listen, I think we've all seen, and I think you'd agree with this, Josh just looked
almost, all right, isn't he?
He's almost bored at the level you've campaigned at so far, and it's been so easy for you that there's a feeling that you just want to get in with someone that's going to give you a test. Is that fair?
I want to be tested. I want to feel like I've got to be able to produce the goods on the night. So if this is the next fight, what's going to do that? I'm more than confident confident. I love fighting, so get me in there on Saturday. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? It's true what you say there, because you go from fighting at the very top level, you're in the Olympics, you're fighting the best in the world, and then you turn pro, and obviously you've got to learn your trade. You know, it is a different sport altogether, but you're fighting lesser opposition, and then you miss that sort of competitive competition. You know, you miss having the hard fights, and I guess now this is your chance to have a tough fight and sort of mix it with better opposition.
I feel as though I've took the pro game nice. I've always had that sort of professional style in us, and then obviously, like you said, fighting at the top level, then dropping down is hard. So I feel as though I want to keep campaigning at the level what I feel as though I can perform at. We'll see where I am Saturday. I know where I am. It's got to prove it
I'll tell you
guys.
What, you don't look fresh for having a new kid as well.
Just gonna ask
no bags under
I know, I've been letting the missus do with that, so I think I've got payback coming when after this fight. I think I'm going to have to take over. It'll be different New Year. I'll be like, I'm coming in and knacking.
Good man. Evanison's his campaign lost to Lamont Peterson on points, beat an old Shane Mosley, but ultimately he's mixed it in world-class company in the very recent past. What are you expecting to be tested on specifically? What is it you're hoping for him to bring out of you on Saturday?
I feel as though he's going to come with a high work rate. We've planned for this. I've worked in the gym time for this, so I feel as though he's going to come and try and put the pressure on. And it's going to be a typical, look, he's a boxer, put the pressure on him and close the distance, but I've got answers to that already, and if he wants to come to fight, then it's going to make it a nice night. So,
who have you been sparring with?
I've been sparring with everyone, Darren.
Have you?
Loads of different people. I'm not going to let you know I've been sparring. From day one I've been sparring with, like, obviously from day one I've sparred. As soon as I come in the gym, I think my first spar in the gym was Andy Lee and Billy Joe Saunders.
Wow.
So like that was one of the first spars, and then after that we just kept mixing it up. I sparred low level, then I went straight up. I sparred like Liam Williams, and I've sparred plenty of rounds with Bradley Skeet, who's like his quality, do you know what I mean? His jab's unbelievable, underrated.
So loads of different styles.
Loads of different styles. So Adam's just getting us ready for, I think, the broader boxing style, to get what I mean. So I'll be alright.
I think people have said that out of all of the Olympians, yourself and Josh Boatsi, the guys who've really taken to the pro style like ducks to water, but I feel like with you it was because we maybe didn't see the best of you as an amateur, and I guess that the GB system is a brilliant system. We see the champions it churns out, but stylistically there's a certain way that they do things, and because you like to fight kind of hands down, you're a reflex-based fighter, there's a certain thing about what Adam Booth's been able to bring out of you, I feel, in the last 18 months. Do you feel like you've got like freedom of expression, creativity about how you want to box?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, GB, you can't say anything about the GB. The GB's proven to turn medals.
Yeah.
And they're proven to do good things. But like you said, certain things suit certain people, and I think the professionals suit me. But if you look at my amateur career, I was never at my best. I never hit my best. I think in certain competitions, I think Europeans, I probably was touching my best as an amateur, but I never fulfilled my potential as an amateur. But
what do you think the reason was for that?
Just being a kid and just being like, I was like 18, 19. I felt as though I was like 3 rounds I could live off the talent. I was like going in there, and I wasn't. Now, I mean, moved away from my family. I'm living down with my fiance. I've got a baby. I'm in there, the professionals. I'm living the life. I'm a total different person. I live the life as amateur, but I mean, the day before weigh-in suits me better as a professional. The day on the day weigh-in as the amateur was quite hard. Just loads of different factors, training styles, the way I boxed my hands up as amateur, I was quite tight, and you had to be, because that was 3 rounds you couldn't afford to get caught. Professionals, you can ride shots, you could give away the first 4 rounds and win the fight still. So it's one of them. I'm a thinking fighter, and that's what the professional brings out.
I think you've also understood the business as well. Do you know what I mean? You know how to put bums on seats. You know, it's hard to sort of get your personality across in the amateurs. You know, if anything, you can come across as arrogant. You know, why is this kid doing it in the amateurs? That makes sense. But in the pros, it's about selling tickets, etc. Now you can just be yourself and show off.
Exactly. I mean, it's like you said, people mistake it for cockiness and arrogance, but it's not sometimes, it's just a style. Look, I get in the ring, I play a part. When I'm outside the ring, I'm a total different guy.
I read that. I think you did it in the boxing news, and it's true. You know, something happens.
Yeah.
I've always said, when the bell goes in a ring, it's almost like, I don't know if you're the same, but it's like I've got hypnotised. Yeah. The bell goes, bang, and then you're in a trance. You just get down to business.
Different, like when I'm warming up, I'm a different person. My missus once said, I'd love to see you warm up. I'd love to come in and see you do everything. I said, you would not, because you'd divorce me. I said, I'm an arse when I'm in the warm-up room. Do you know what I mean? But that, it is what it is. You got to cheat, you got to have a character switch. Do you know what I mean? So, and Darren's been there, done it. He knows the score. He knows what you have to do. Do you know what I mean? So,
and I think people are starting to understand you a bit more now that we've had a few interviews with you, and people. Because I mean, listen, you and I have known each other for a long time. I know that's not you inside the ring, outside the ring. And I think the public are just slowly starting to understand a lot of the Olympians from 2016. You're getting your own personalities, your own individualities. And I think people are getting what Josh Kelley's all about. Because I'm excited for you, and I hope Saturday night goes really, really well. So best of luck. Thank you very much for coming on the show again, Josh. Okay, so Josh Kelley in action on Saturday night. David Avaneshan, he's making some real waves, isn't he, Darren?
Yeah, and I like that he's getting to express himself. You know, like he says, you only got to hear him talk there. He's not cocky, he's nothing like that. He's expressing himself. He's showing how hard he trains in the gym. So when it comes to fight night, he could, like I say, use the word again, he just expresses himself.
And he can't help but he's a looker either. That's what
yeah. I mean, you got the likes of Dave Allen copying his haircut. Dave Allen went into the barbers in, where was we? Manchester. And he asked for his haircut. Do you know, he went, can I have that? So, yeah, very funny.
He's another one, Dave Allen. Spent a little bit of time with Adam Booth a couple of weeks ago and just said he kind of realised how hard he needs to work. Dave Allen obviously wasn't the performance of a lifetime, but he got through it a few weeks ago. He's been putting in a shift with Dylan White, who, of course, is going to be fighting Derek Chisora on 22nd. We'll be back in a couple of weeks' time for that fight week. Really excited about that one as well, because those two, I mean, it was one of the fights of the year.
Yeah. Do you know what? You've got to take your hat off to Dillian White, because some would say just sit on your hands. You're the front runner, if you like, for this big blockbuster in April at Wembley Stadium, you know, a national stadium. Sit on your hands. What are you doing? You know, he's done well. He's had some big fights. It's not like he's in need of money, etc. But he just shows you what sort of character he's got. He's a fighting man. He wants to get in there. That fight was that close, wasn't it? You know, some matches are winning it, so you got to take your hat off. But I think he's improved since. He's been looking really good, hasn't he? You know, that knockout against Lucas Brown. He's full of confidence, and there's been some funny. The build-up's been very funny.
It's been very good. Behind the was it behind the gloves when they set the face off? Very, very good. Heavyweight landscape. Obviously, nothing changed last weekend between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, but actually everything changed at the same time, because Tyson Fury looks a completely renewed heavyweight, almost back to the kind of form we saw him in 2.5 years ago, which is just remarkable.
Called it. I'm not being funny. I'm not always right with predictions, but I called it. I didn't call the draw. I called Fury winning on point. I just thought style-wise, Fury was all wrong for Wilder, and the other way, I just thought Wilder was all right for Fury. It was just with that. How was it punch-resistant fair against a big puncher, being out the ring against big punchers for what was it, 2.5 years?
Yeah.
You know. I can see it coming, but like you say, it's thrown a spanner in the works in some sense, because most people are calling for the rematch now, rightly so, because the right man didn't get the win, but it sort of stalls progression with the Joshua in April. I mean, I don't know now. It may be that the winner of the rematch fights Joshua at the end of the year. You don't know, in 2019. It's a funny one, but what a heavyweight division we're in at the minute. I mean, it's fantastic, isn't it? There's so many good fighters out there, and they're all willing to fight each other. It's great.
Yeah, I guess you're absolutely right. I guess it's a case of what do Team Wilder want to do next. What do they fancy more? Because ultimately, I think anyone with a pair of eyes and half an understanding of boxing knows what the real result was last weekend. Very hard to give Wilder more than a round outside of the 2 rounds where he scored a knockdown. Therefore, Fury wins it by probably
second round. I think it was. I might give Wilder.
Yeah,
and that's the 2 rounds.
So really, you're looking at 115, 111 there, or thereabouts. And ultimately, what it means is that Fury's kind of seen now as the champion-elect. Wilder is seen as a guy who ultimately is a thorn in the side of people like Anthony Joshua, because he has the belt that AJ wants and needs in order to become undisputed champion. So Wilder still has the ace in the pack. But Tyson Fury's now still probably the big money fight for Anthony Joshua.
You know what? I don't know how controversial I can be, but I'm almost to the point I would just keep that WBC title over in America. You know, let us contest the rest of the belts over here, because I mean, after that, it was a robbery, and it's not fair. You know, it ruined a great story, and I just think, you know, we've seen it with Golovkin and Canelo. You know, I don't want to get into too much, but there has been some iffy decisions over there, and it's just almost like, why would you bother? When you've got stadium fights in England, why would you bother? But this is a whole different thing.
And certainly as far as the negotiations between Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, one of the sticking points was, where is that fight going to take place? Eddie didn't want to move from having it in the UK. And actually, what happened on Saturday night has kind of vindicated that point, because ultimately, had that happened to Anthony Joshua, who'd gone over there and clearly won it on points and then not got the decision, there would be 10 times the uproar there currently be, because Tyson Fury went into that ultimately with very little to lose and a lot to gain. Anthony Joshua goes in with that infinitely more to lose and kind of very little to gain in comparison.
Absolutely, but anyway, I'll go back to, you know, why would you go to the States when you've got huge stadium fights here? Just stay here.
Become the home of boxing in the UK in the last 6 months.
We're the Mecca now, I don't care what anyone says, we're the Mecca. You want to fight in the States, you want to go abroad, but for me, stay here.
Well, we seem to be just about ready to rock and roll. Eddie Hearn has just arrived, sat down at the desk, and we'll hand you over to him now.
I think what feels like kind of like a second home, Sheffield United. We've had many a press conference in here. We had a great event here. Sorry? Are you, Michael? Sorry,
you're stealing my thunder here.
I was so excited. I was so excited. I just went for it. Now we'll pass over to the real star of the show, ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Fame promoter and MC, Michael Buffer.
Well, I get an introduction and everything. Are we all right with PA? Well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the official final press conference for a great night of boxing coming up Saturday night. Now, before we continue, I just want to say on behalf of Matchroom Boxing, Sky Sports Boxing, and Dazn, we all send our best wishes to a speedy recovery for Adonis Stevenson, who's recovering and starting to do well. He, of course, was injured last week, and we wish him the best. And our condolences to the family of three-time world champion Marcus Beyer, who tragically, at the age of 47, passed away a few days ago. And just wanted to say our thoughts and prayers to his family. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the Steel City, Sheffield, England, a city of with a metropolitan area of over 1.5 million. Very devoted, loyal sports fans, and as many of you know, Sheffield FC is the oldest football club in the entire world. So this is a city with a great history in sports, along with just a plain old historical city. 1,000 years ago, we had a castle here, Sheffield Castle, that was the home of Mary Queen of Scots for 14 years back in the 16th century. None of us was here, except for, I think Barry Hearn was around in those days. But and it's a great city for sports. It's my 5th time here, and I'm really looking forward to Saturday night. On the card, I think we have a total of 10 fights. The co-feature and feature are for World Championship Eliminator contests. And like I say, I've been here 5 times, loved it every time. A great night coming up, and it's all brought to you by Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing. It'll be broadcast live by Sky Sports Boxing, streamed exclusively to the United States on Dazn, D-A-Z-N, Dazn. And so fans all over the world will be watching and seeing the great fans here in Sheffield. So here to tell you more about what is on the card and introduce you to some of the fighters. You just met him a few minutes ago as he introduced himself before I got to come up here and speak, is Mr. Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Great to have you here as always. David Diamante as well. First class ring announcers. Great setup. We've got production first class. Looking forward to a big show on Saturday. Like I said, we've been to this great city many, many times. Feels like many years we've been coming here with Kel, starting out at Hillsborough Leisure Centre, of course, travelling to the US when he beat Sean Porter for the world title, defending his world titles here. Of course, coming here, fighting what is probably now regarded as the number 147-pound fighter in the world in Errol Spence, 25,000 people at Bramall Lane. It was a great, great night of boxing. And seeing him today, I think he looks fitter, healthier, chirpier, more excited than I've ever seen him in his career so far. And a fit, hungry, healthy Kell Brook is a very, very dangerous Kell Brook. And I believe we're going to get a fantastic performance from him on Saturday night. There's talk about the future. There's talk about Amir Khan. One thing I know is that Kell Brook has many, many miles left on the clock. And like I said, when there's hunger in his heart, I believe he's one of the best 147-pound fighters in the world. And he may even come in close to that limit on Saturday night, even though this fight is a final eliminator for the WBA light middleweight title with the likes of Jarrett Hurd on the horizon. I'm excited for this card for many, many reasons, and I'm going to explain those to you shortly. But first, I'm going to pass over to our long-time exclusive UK partners, Sky Sports. And I always keep saying that British boxing is in such a great renaissance period. But when we were on our knees, i.e. we, the boxing family, there was only really one person that wanted to help, and that was Sky Sports. And it's great to still be with them after all these years and still see them flying the flag for boxing in Britain. I'm going to pass you over to Head of Boxing at Sky Sports, Adam Smith.
Thanks, Eddie. I just want to echo Michael's words, wishing Adonis Stevenson a speedy recovery, and also love to the family of Marcus Beyer. We worked with Marcus plenty of times early on in the Sky days. He was a great guy, and we're going to miss him hugely. As Eddie said, we've been in boxing many, many years. It's my 25th year at Sky, and it was started long before me as well. And you know, year in, year out, we are there for the sport. Recently, we've done Monaco and Florence, and now we're here in Sheffield, back to a place we spent a lot of time in the late 90s with the likes of Prince Nassim Hamid, of course, Ryan Rhodes, Johnny Nelson, our own, Clifton Mitchell. Kell Brook was just a young kid there coming through. And it's fantastic to see how he's developed over the years. And as Eddie said, and as Michael said, this is a wonderful fighting city. Really looking forward to being back here Saturday night. It's a great December, of course. New York next week for Canelo and Rocky, and then White Chisora at the O2, a pre-Christmas cracker. But let's enjoy this one. It's a great bill. Fantastic to see Kell Brook back. I agree with Eddie. He looks in terrific shape, and obviously has got the fire reignited alongside John Fuchs now. We remember John, a really good fighter himself, and good to see him again. Welcome Michael Zerafa and his team over. Looking forward to the main event. We've got some great stuff on the card as well. The likes of John O'Carroll, Anthony Fowler, Josh Kelley in a really tough one as well. So enjoy it. It's a special coming back to Sheffield. We love it. And yeah, have a great one Saturday night. We'll see you there.
Thanks, Adam. As I was saying, a couple of reasons I'm really looking forward to this card. One, of course, is the return of Kell Brook under a new trainer in John Fuchs, but particularly three guys who are in big, big fights. Two are in huge step-up fights. Everyone in step-up fights are those three. But firstly, Anthony Fowler, who has by far the toughest fight of his career so far against Jose Carlos Paz. Paz lost to Jamie Munguia recently, who's now WBO light middleweight world champion. John O'Carroll in a final eliminator with Guilain Fremoir, who will be with us in a couple of minutes, flying in from Paris, long-standing European champion. The winner of that fight goes on to automatically challenge Tevin Farmer. Of course, Tevin Farmer under the Matchroom banner as well. He wants that fight badly. That fight is already penciled in for March in New York, so no waiting about. John O'Carroll gets victory on Saturday night. He goes straight into the Tevin Farmer fight stateside. Kid Galahad returning after a great win in America, now mandatory challenger for the winner of Warrington Frampton coming up. Nowhere for them to run either. Kid Galahad straight in with them. Kez Asfak in his first step up on the card, of course 2016 Rio Olympian. And I think one of the picks on the card is Josh Kelley against David Avician. David, former WBA welterweight world champion. And Josh Kelley now makes a major, major, major step up. I saw David on the pads last night with Carl Greaves. He looks in fantastic shape. Sparred many rounds with Kell Brook. I know it's a fight Kell's looking forward to as well. And particularly for Jono, Anthony and Josh Kelley, three really, really big moments for them on Saturday night for two of their fledgling careers, and also Jono with a brilliant opportunity to challenge for the world title. Kez, we're going to start it out with you. Jay Carney for you on Saturday night. Looking forward to getting out on this card. You're looking in great shape and excited for the show.
Yeah, I can't wait to get out there now. It's been a long training camp. I'm starting to finally, in the pro game, feel myself. Obviously, before I turned pro, I had a good year and a half away. I had a year and a half off, injuries, sorting a promotional deal out, but now I'm in the best place in the world at Matchroom Boxing. But yeah, I'm feeling amazing. A little step up against Jay Carney this weekend, and I'm looking forward to showing what I'm made of.
You've seen your Rio teammates, of course, Anthony and Josh, now moving up the world rankings, and some of them winning British Commonwealth titles, some of them looking to challenge for world titles in 2019. A lot of pressure now from the fans to make these steps quickly, and a good win for you on Saturday will see you challenging for titles in 2019. Yeah,
definitely. I'm half jealous of these boys right now because they've got a year ahead of me in terms of the professional careers, but I'm ready to step up. Took my time so far. I'm feeling great in the pro game now. I'm ready to step up slowly, and next year hopefully get a few titles around the waist as well.
Barry, great win out in Boston. It's a good performance. Got the decision out there, and now sitting really, really nicely as mandatory challenger for the winner of Warrington and Frampton, and looking to finish off the year in style on Saturday night in your hometown.
Yeah, it was a good win out in America and Boston. Toko Clerican, tough kid. What can I say? You know, did everything I had to do in that fight to win. So hopefully on Saturday get this kid out of the way, and then I'll be ringside watching Frampton and Warrington, 22nd.
Obviously important to keep busy. You had a nice run now of fights.
Yeah.
Rather than sitting around waiting, just waiting for your shot. We know that's coming early next year, but important to stay busy and keep ready for that fight.
It is, you know, I'd like to thank Sky Sports, Matchroom, Eddie, you know, 3 fights this year. So, you know, hopefully next year you can get me 4 fights, 4 defining fights. I'll be fighting for the world title, win that, and then 3 big fights next year.
Anthony, for the first time, you have definitely a guy that's coming to win, definitely a guy who's mixed at world class, and I get the feeling you're really looking forward to it. I've got to say, Dave Coldwell turned down 20 opponents for you for this fight because they weren't good enough, which is nice and refreshing from a trainer and manager who would normally, obviously, at this stage in their career, look for easier options. But both you guys feel like you're ready now to step up over 10 rounds and in title fights.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, Dave knows I need to test. It's no point me on the ring and just dominating people like I have been. Like, I've had 8 fights without being cocky. I haven't even broke a sweat so far. It's all been easy, straightforward fights. So this lad's been at top level. Box world champions. He's ranked 40 on BoxRec, much higher than me. So he's mixed at a much higher class. And this is the fight where I show what I'm about. I've got to be cool, calm, collected, and do the job.
Obviously looking to move up those world rankings, but domestically, I don't think it's ever been better, well, for boxing full stop, but especially at 154 pounds. People were talking about the Fitzgerald fight. Now a lot of people talking about Fowler v Cheeseman in 2019. Is Fitzgerald, then Cheeseman, a route that you'd like to take if you're successful on Saturday?
Yeah, I'm waiting for you, Eddie. I'm ready, mate. I've been ready all year for these fights. I just want to start like being big fights now and just show them about, because I work very, very hard in the gym, so it's no point doing all the work in the gym and having an easy fight where you don't show nothing. I want a good test, and this lad's going to come to fight me. He's a tough lad. He's a lot more experienced than me, a lot more hardened than what I am, so it's going to be a great fight.
Thanks, Anthony. Mehdi, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Our friends from France, Guillaume. Are you translating? For the question, obviously a massive chance for both guys. The winner moves on to fight for the world title, Tevin Farmer. How are you feeling?
Bonjour tout le monde. Alors, non, mais je suis très, voilà, très motivé et très prêt pour ce combat. Et comme l'IBF a ordonné une demi-finale pour accéder au championnat du monde, donc il va falloir gagner cette demi-finale, et on est là pour ça.
He said that he's very pleased to be here in Sheffield, a great place of boxing. When the IBF ordered this final eliminator, he was determined to come get his chance to fight to fight for the world title. So after 2-month camp, he's ready to win.
is he ready for a war on Saturday night? Because I've seen John O'Carroll fight many times, and I promise you that on Saturday.
Je pense qu'à ce niveau-là, tout le monde est guerrier. Donc, je suis un guerrier aussi. Donc, voilà, on est prêt pour ça. Et si on veut faire un championnat du monde, de toute façon, on sera présent.
If you target a world title, you must be a warrior. So maybe you know the Irish warrior, but you will know the French warrior on Saturday.
Oh, very good, very good. Jono, unquestionably the greatest beard in world boxing right now.
Indeed, son.
Mixed in with probably the greatest smile in world boxing as well. And I'm delighted to welcome you to the Matchroom team. Your first fight with us, you won prize fighter. You had a couple of fights with us. We put you on the Klitschko Fury card a few years back. And delighted to be working with you. And this massive, massive, massive chance for you on Saturday night to move straight into a Tevin Farmer fight.
Yeah, thank you, Eddie. I really appreciate you having me back. I appreciate Sky Sports put me on these big bills. Since prize fighter, I was an underdog for that. I stepped up, I won that, and then getting on Germany. I've been on fantastic shows with Sky and with Matchroom, you know, so I was excited to sign back with us. And yeah, I must say, pulling this off, getting me this world title, this is what boxing is all about. You know what I mean? I don't work that hard and sacrifice so many hours in the gym, blood, sweat and tears to just fight journeyman or fight people who I know when I get in there to fight that I know I'm going to beat. That stuff doesn't excite me, you know what I mean? I need to be in with people who is going to test me. And this Frenchman is very experienced. I hope he is ready for a war, because us Irish love to go to war. And I have to say, I'm ready for anything, whether we want to box. I believe I have a little bit better boxing ability, hand speed, power, and then, as always, I love to go to war too. So I'm going to drag him into all sorts of my boxing game. I'm looking to impress. I don't want to just win this fight. I want to impress. I want to show Tevin Farmer the little peanut head. I'm going to eat him alive when his time comes. And I truly believe the only person who can test me to the limits would be someone like Gervonta Davis, you know? Someone, that will be a dogfight. Me and him go head to head, and that will be a war. And then you'll see the true John O'Carroll going to war.
You talk about experience in this fight. Frenoir's clearly more experienced than you, boxed at European level for a long, long time. You think you're getting him at the right time as well, or just nothing's going to stop you on Saturday night?
Listen, nothing's going to stop me. I don't really look too much into who I'm fighting. I just try to be the best me, the best boxer I can possibly be. And the rest take care of itself. You know what I mean? For me, it doesn't matter who I face. I just look at what type of fighter they are. We come up with a game plan, and yeah, we just execute that game plan and destroy. You know what I mean? My past few fights, I'm only getting better and better every time I get in there, because my level of opposition has got better and better. And every time I'm the underdog, I can't even believe I was the underdog for my last fight, being the champion. But every time I am the underdog, I raise my game. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about in boxing, is when you get these opportunities, you take them with both hands and you just destroy anything in your path.
And finally, you would be an underdog against Tevin Farmer. I've seen lots of backs and forth between you two on social media. We know you have a job to do on Saturday night, not overlooking Frenoir, but that could end up being a big, big fight stateside.
No, because Frenoir is like a banana skin, you know. If I don't win on Saturday night, then there is no Tevin Farmer. And God knows I want to lay my hands on Tevin Farmer's little head. You know what I mean? So, trust me, I will be performing on Saturday night, because at the end of the day, I have a job to do Saturday. And I need to take this very seriously. But at the same time, we know I'm ready for Tevin Farmer. I know I'm ready. MTK Gold will know I'm ready. And I want to thank them also for putting me in this position and getting me signed with yourself and getting me these big opportunities. You know what I mean? There was times I was actually feeling like walking away from boxing a few times. And then when I signed with MTK, it gave me that spark back. So I really have to take my hat off to them and thank them massively. But I have to say, Tevin Farmer is getting broke up. Mark my words, Tevin Farmer will not last 12 rounds. I guarantee every single person here, I am going to smash up Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer is a good fighter, but he ain't no Floyd Mayweather, and he tries to be like Adrian Brown and all these little muppets. Trust me, he ain't nothing like them. Tevin Farmer he's a good fighter. I'm not going to put him down too much because anyone who has won a world title is, in my eyes, that's where I want to be. So I can't put his boxing ability down. He's a great fighter, but there's plenty of holes there that I can see that I'm going to poke him to bits. And I guarantee I break him up and break his heart.
Thanks, Jono. Firstly,
hopefully break his jaw and shut him up as well. But sorry, Eddie.
Firstly, Frenoir, for you on Saturday, IBF final eliminator to become mandatory for Tevin Farmer. It's a great, great fight. And another fight, WBA International welterweight title, Josh Kelley against David Avician. David, welcome.
Thank you.
This is a big fight for you. I know that Neil Marsh, your management team, and Carl Greaves, your trainer, really, really fancy this fight. Styles should clash into a real war on Saturday.
Hello, everybody. Yes, it's a big fight for me. I like. Sorry, it's my English not very well.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, now I work for better next time. I like this fight. I want this fight. I'm hungry. In boxing, I need fight. I'm ready. David now today for Sheffield is David ready for fight. And tomorrow weight day and after fight day and see you for ring. I'll do my best. I think everything good.
David, Josh Kelley was a great amateur. Doesn't have much professional experience. You've boxed at a much higher level than him. Do you think the experience is important in this fight?
Yeah, I speak true before not listen for Josh Kelley before say fight. Yeah, I listen after listen for give me fight. I see Josh good for amateur boxing and good starting professional boxing. I listen for maybe 1 month before Josh here for children, and congratulations, it's good news. I hope so everybody understand me.
We do. You're doing very well.
Yeah, it's good fight. I think 12 round belt fight is really champion fight. Thank you for everybody. Thank you my family for every time. Good heart helped me.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Avician with some excellent English. Excellent. Josh, obviously we heard there you got a little boy now, plenty to fight for, but this is where it starts to get really, really exciting. This is actually the first time I'll be a little bit nervous. I'm sure the team will be. But really now, you won't be, but it's what it's all about. I mean, finally now you have the test with someone that will give absolutely everything to win on Saturday night against you.
That's what I need. I need someone to come and really try and take my head off. I know looking at this, I think as though when I get in the ring, and a lot of people want to take my head off because I look like this arrogant sort of guy, but I've got a sort of a switch when I go into the ring. I'm not the same guy outside as I'm in. So I feel as though Saturday night when I go in there, I'm going to put a performance on. I got love and respect for David Avician. Thank you for congratulating us on the child. Yeah, he's healthy, he's blessed. Everything's going well. So 4 weeks since the last fight, so I've had a quick turnaround and I'm feeling fresh. And I'm just feeling too relaxed. I feel nice.
Obviously, David's mixed at world level. You know, we're former world champion, ranked for a long, long time. After this fight, if you're successful, really, it's straight into the deep end. And this is going to tell us exactly where you are in your career, I believe, on Saturday.
When this fight happens and when the decision gets made, then I think a lot of people will be surprised the way the fight went. I feel stylistically, I'm ready for this sort of fight. It's sort of the typical boxer versus the fighter in a sense. And if it comes to fight, it's going to be a good night and a night to enjoy for myself.
Look forward to a great fight on Saturday night between you two. It's going to be a fantastic fight. We move on to the main event, final eliminator for the WBA Super Welterweight World title. We'll start with the trainers first. Blake Caparello, welcome. A great fighter yourself. Tell us about this camp, this fight, and the job ahead on Saturday night.
Yeah, thanks for Matchroom, first of all, and Sky Sports for having us on all the way from Australia. The good thing about Michael, he comes into camp fit and he's only a couple of kilos overweight, so we can focus straight on the boxing with him, and he come in camp good spirits. He's come over here in great spirits. The English public have been awesome towards us. Listen, I know they think he's coming as an opponent because there's big fights ahead, but Michael's not an opponent. He's coming here to win, like Cal did against Sean Porter. He went to his backyard and he took the title. Kell Brook's name is a world title to Michael, so we're coming to his backyard and we're doing the exact same thing.
I know, speaking to Brendan, making this fight, you know, these are the kind of opportunities he's been looking for. Obviously won the Commonwealth title, defended it, you know, won intercontinental titles as well. A lot of people believe that he's a massive underdog in this fight. No pressure, really, in this fight, and no expectations necessarily from the UK fans. He can go in, relax, and try and enjoy himself out there.
Exactly right, and like you know, that's a dangerous fighter, a relaxed fighter. So Michael's got nothing to worry about. He just goes go in there, do his job. He's got his team, family, all his friends back home behind him, and we've actually had a lot of the English public come up to him and support him. So we're looking to put on a great show.
Thank you, Blake. And over to John. John, welcome. Your first time up here in the Kell Brook team. He looks in fantastic shape, looks happy, looks ready. Tell us a little bit about the camp so far and what you've seen and what improvements have been made.
Yeah, it is, Eddie. Yeah, thanks. He's in fantastic shape. It's great. It's great to be a part of it, if I'm honest with you. But the way, as soon as I got there, I thought to myself, well, there's odd little bits we can do and not change, but add to his arsenal. As soon as I got there, he just jumped straight in board with both feet to say, yeah, what do you want to work on? What should we do with this? And the perfect thing with Kell with this camp is he's happy. And he's been dragging me out of bed at 6:30 in the morning. I've been wanting to lie, and he's saying, get out, come on. We're going running, we're going to the gym, we're doing this. He's been there before me. So with somebody like Kell, as long as he's happy, he's dangerous, man, like dangerous. So this camp, it couldn't have gone any better. And I'm looking for a very special performance on Saturday.
Obviously, after the Errol Spence defeat, you know, he was disappointed with that. It was tough to take, and you know, in my meetings with Kell, he talked about 1, 2 more fights. Yeah. But really, I see a different side to him now. People, you know, talking about years still in this sport.
Eddie, sorry, pal. I'm exactly the same as you. Before I started working with Kell, I think a lot of people might have thought that maybe there's 1, there's 2 fights. Maybe think, oh, the Khan fight and then that's it. No way. No way. This Kell Brook now, the way he is now, and the way he's going to be after this fight, is another 2, 3, 4 years in him, easily. And not just in the game, but at the top level of the game. And that's at 147, that's at 154. Whatever chances come, he'll beat them guys, this Kell Brook.
Thanks, John. Michael, welcome. You've been looking for this opportunity for a while. Many are looking past you. You know, the internet says you don't have a chance in this fight. I asked them to watch the Peter Quillen fight where you moved up to middleweight and you gave him a great ride there, took it to him. But a big opportunity for you on Saturday night in your career.
Thanks for having me, firstly. Yeah, look, it's a huge opportunity for me and the team. You know, Kell Brook's done a lot of great things for the sport. You know, we know it's going to be a hard fight, but you know, we've come prepared. You know, like Blakey said, his name's a world title to me. So no stone's been left unturned. He's just a man, you know what I mean? He's got 2 arms and a head and he bleeds red. So look, the best Michael Zerafa is going to be there. And like I said, it's going to be a fireworks.
One thing we know about you, you've got plenty of heart and you're prepared to go to the well in this fight. Is that what you're going to have to do in this fight? You believe you have to go to the well to beat Kell Brook on Saturday?
Look, you know, we've been obviously studying throughout our camp. Like I said, he's a great fighter, but, you know, we saw a lot of flaws. You know, too many holes in a ship, it sinks. So, look, we've got a great game plan in place. And, look, you know, come Saturday, we'll lay it all out. And, like I said, it's in God's hands now, but like I said, no stone's been left unturned.
Thank you, Michael. Holes in the ship, Kell. You look well. A lot of people looking past this fight for you, but obviously feeling fresh and talking about years left in the sport, a must-win on Saturday night, obviously.
Yeah, I'm feeling very fresh. If you roll back 12 months ago, I probably give myself about 12 months to, you know, before I hang 'em up. But I feel reborn. I feel reborn, Eddie. Honestly, you don't understand. You know, like I said, an happy fighter is a dangerous fighter, and I'm so happy. We, you know, on training camp, like I said, we were getting all the hard work done, the beach runs, the track sessions. We're having a good crack in between, film night, end at night. It was like, it was so, the camp just was so smooth. We had the sparring in what we needed. You know, it couldn't have gone any better, and you know, I am so happy, and I'm so raring to go now for Saturday.
With Michael Zerafa, obviously we know 154-pound fighter, won Commonwealth titles, Intercontinental titles, fell short against the likes of Peter Quillen, but very game, and will definitely be bringing the fight to you on Saturday night.
You know, to be honest with you, with no disrespect to him, I'm not interested what he's going to do. I know that I'm 100%, and there's not going to be no man what can get in there Saturday night, what can deal with me. So I'm very happy, I'm very sharp, I'm very strong, I'm very explosive. So I'm looking to make you know, put up serious performance on, and I'm looking to give all your guys an early Christmas present.
I know that it wouldn't be a press conference without asking an Amir Khan question. We know that he's obviously still the fight, but at this stage in your career, with this freshness and this new mentality, it's basically any elite fighter you want if you can beat Zerafa on Saturday.
Any elite, I feel like a teenager again. You know, I could weigh in at 147 tomorrow if I wanted. You know, I've got that buzz. I've got that buzz again. I've got many years left. I want to fight the top boys. Sean Porter's got WBC world title. He's there. If he wants a rematch there, Errol Spence, I would love to bring him back here in the summer and get the win, because I'm an animal. You know, I feel reborn, like I said. I'm buzzing, and Amir Khan is a con man. They should call him Amir Khan, because he's a con man. He's mugged you off, Eddie. He's mugged you off. You know, I think.
Not yet.
You know, this is his last fight, big fight. You know, under Matchroom, I thought that this fight were nailed on. You know, he shook me and looked me dead in the eyes at Tony Bell's last fight. Looked me dead in the eyes, and he said, "We will fight next." What can I do? I've bent over backwards. I've said that I'll come to 147. We've not even talked about rehydration or anything like that, because it's never got to that. You know, first of all, we need him to come to the table and say, yes, it's on, because I'm doing everything I can for the fans. You know, he's turned his back on the fans. He keeps saying that I have. I think everybody knows that it's him what's running off.
Well,
so
if you want my opinion, there's only one fight for Amir Khan, and that's what I've told him. And that's to fight you and not fight anybody else. But that's another story, because you have an important fight on Saturday night, and you have a guy that's going to try and end all your career plans on Saturday night in Michael Zerafa, and I know he's going to be doing everything he can to try and do that. Kell Brook is, I believe, still one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the sport of boxing, and I think you're going to see a great performance from him on Saturday night against Michael Zerafa. A huge card, so many other fighters on the card as well, and thanks to Adam Etches as well, Shaquille Thompson, just to name a few coming. By the way, Adam Etches isn't fighting. I saw him. He might be coming in to fight at cruiserweight or something like that. Where is he?
Heavyweight.
Thanks, Adam. And Terry Harper, loads of other fighters on the card as well on Saturday night. Some big fights, like I said, away from Brook against Zerafa, John O'Carroll against Fremwar, IBF final eliminator, Kez Ashfaq, Kid Galahad, Anthony Fowler in a big step up, and a brilliant welterweight fight between David Avician and Josh Pretty Boy Kelley as well. All live and exclusive on Sky Sports, streamed in America with Dazn. We've got David Diamante, we've got Michael Buffer, and we've got the Sheffield Arena. And I just want to say to the Sheffield fight fans, thank you for all your support over the years. I truly believe this will be the last time you see Kell Brook in the Sheffield Arena, because after this, I think he's moving to stadium fights. I think he's moving to big fights in the US as well. So let's have a great night. We've had so many great nights in the arena before, and we look forward to another electric night on Saturday. We're going to have head-to-head shots up here, and all the fighters are available for media and one-to-ones. And we'll see you at the weigh-in tomorrow at the Business Design Centre by the Winter Gardens. Thank you very much.
So there you have it, All-Star Sky Sports main event on Saturday night. Lots of interesting stuff from a number of the fighters there. Really don't think either of us expected to hear that kind of talk from Kell Brook, and we didn't expect him to be saying the kind of things he says, but now he is. It's quite exciting.
Yeah, I didn't expect to hear the sort of rebirth talk.
Yeah.
You know, reborn. I feel fresh as though he is at the tail end of his career. I thought that was, what he was focusing on. Getting some more big fights and sort of calling it a day on an already very good career. But he's talking about, continuing for another 3-4 years. Well, he's coaching anyway. But he truly believes with his new coach there, his newfound love for the sport, that he can campaign in the sport for a bit longer. And good luck to him. He's exciting. We love to watch him. He is a big draw here and in the States. So yeah, I'm happy to hear that.
We're going to hopefully have him on in a few minutes' time. He'll probably have obligations with Sky, but we'll try and grab him if we can at some point. Ultimately, that chat with Amir Khan, I've got a couple of questions I want to put to him, but I'll kind of put to you as well. If that doesn't come off, it's probably quite a relief in some ways that this is a super welterweight eliminator, because whether he says he can make 147 easily or not, this really does look to be a natural weight for him where he's going to perform his best. If this is an eliminator for Jarrett Hurd's WBA super welterweight title, then if things with Khan don't come off as we think they may not next year, he's still in a very strong position in a very strong division.
Yeah, of course he is. I mean, there's options there. We talk about the weight there. I think it's him wanting to make welter. It's like, I think beforehand he was forced into it. He was the world champion, defending world titles. So he had to make the 147 limit. Probably didn't really want to, but now, though he's moved up, he's stronger at light middle. He's happy to do well, and that shows me that his intentions and his desire is still huge, and it's great to see. But like you say, there's so many options there because of his pedigree, because of what he's done in the past. There's plenty of options for Cole.
There's parallels between him and Amir Khan. Both probably had their best wins all the way back in 2014. Khan against Sean Paul. Kelley against Sean Porter, of course. Khan, Devon Alexander was a great win. Both of them then stepped up to middleweight, kind of out of the blue, against not just any middleweights, but the best two middleweights in the world, against Canelo and Golovkin, both with similar kind of outcomes. Let's just have a look at John O'Carroll there. What an opportunity he's got ahead of him, and hopefully we'll speak to him as well in a little while. Guillaume Fremois.
What did he say? The best beard in boxing.
Oh, it is. Well, it wouldn't be that long ago. You woun't have been able to fight with something like that, would you?
No, it's true. It has all changed a fair bit. I mean, I had a long bit of stubble once, and they asked me to shave it off. So, not that I could grow.
I don't know if you could get.
I couldn't. I
don't think you and me together.
In all fairness, if I was to try and grow one like that, it would have plenty of grey hair in it.
That's all right. Well, John O'Carroll.
He's a character as well, isn't he?
Really
It's
cool, isn't
interesting hearing him talk, and he wants that farmer fight, doesn't he? He really wants to the opportunity to fight for a world title, and that's one he fancies. He can do the business.
Good win for him against Declan Geraghty, who he actually fought in his third professional contest. It was a 4-rounder, absolute war that everybody was talking about. And of course, the rematch between the two earlier on in the summer was contender for fight of the year. So we're looking forward to seeing him in action Saturday. Here's Josh Kelley and David Avanesyan. Great matchup between them. Quite a
Both
big
very
size
confident
advantage. Josh Kelley, a little bit taller.
Yeah.
Avanesyan, as you heard, previous world title experience, and Josh Kelley has just looked so comfortable with the level of opposition he's faced so far that this is the test that we're expecting that he needs, and that he himself and Adam Booth feel that he needs to.
Yeah, it's definitely the correct step up at the right time. It is a gamble, but I like what Josh says there. Stylistically, he feels this is the right opponent for him, and I do as well. I think he does come to fight, and I think stylistically that makes for a great matchup.
There is the main event, WBA Super Welterweight title eliminator, Kell Brook and the Australian Michael Zerafa. Do 12 rounds on Saturday night. Really, really looking forward to this one. And listen, we heard it before, but if you haven't seen the fight between Zerafa and Peter
Quillen, took the words out of my mouth there. Watch the fight. Yeah. Zerafa versus Peter Quillen.
Good shootout, right?
It's a good shootout against a huge puncher in Quillen. And he has a go. He's trying to counter punch. He's mixing fire with fire. He comes to fight. He's a good boxer. He doesn't hold back on his punches. He really puts everything into him. And this is going to be exciting, because he has the opportunity here to upset the card and make a name for himself.
That was a peak Peter Quillen as well, before the Daniel Jacobs defeat. Yeah. That was him at his kind of very, very best. So we've seen his limitations, but we've also seen his potential too. So Kell Brook's got to be careful early. He may take a few shots. Nice counter puncher too is Michael Zerafa, so we're expecting good things. I remember hearing you, I spoke to you actually at I was filming, I had a camera in my hand, and you were speaking to John Dennon about Golovkin flying over a little bit too late when he fought Kell Brook, because he wasn't very well that week, I don't think. And you said you were worried that maybe he had not flown over with enough time. Obviously, flying from Australia, it's a totally different kettle of fish. I mean, he's flying from Europe to the States, as you've done plenty of times, but flying from Australia here, he's going to have come over plenty of times.
It's crazy how sitting on a plane and the time difference can make such a, have such an impact on yourself. I mean, and your performance in the ring. I remember, the Canada, America. It just completely saps you. You're exhausted, and getting that right is key. Getting over to wherever you're fighting in enough time to sort of adjust to the time difference, adjust to the weather even. He's coming from the summer to the winter. All of these things at top level sport make a difference. And yeah, I'm sure they feel they've got it right, but yeah, that could be something to put into the equation.
Well, we've got one of the main men for Saturday night on his way to the studio. John O'Carroll, come on in, mate.
Yeah, mate. Thank you.
How are you? So good to see you.
I'm good, sir.
The Irish speak well, don't they?
Oh,
it's like having boxing's own Conor McGregor, right?
Conor started, we're taking over now.
This is it. Yeah, he set a high bar,
yeah,
for
he
sure.
did.
But no throwing waters in here, mate. Okay, keep that to a minute. Great to see you back in action. Fight of the year contender against Declan Geraghty, who you fought in your third professional contest.
Yes.
Your first two professional contests were in Australia, weren't they?
Yeah, Australia, yeah.
So you've come a long way, both geographically and in terms of your career.
Yeah.
I bet when you were boxing in Perth all those years ago, you couldn't have seen yourself here.
Do you know what? It's actually crazy when I look back on how it all happened. It's crazy because I went to Australia to work because I wasn't working at home, and I just went to a gym just to train. Basically, it wasn't to box. It was just happened to be a boxing gym because that's all I know. So I was like, I'll go to the boxing gym. And the coach there said, "Why don't you go pro?" And I always thought you had to go to the Olympics to go pro. You need to get a good sign-on fee, something like that. But no, he just told me pro, and it kind of just happened. You know what I mean? Boxing just happened for me. I didn't choose to box, and then I had one pro fight over there with that trainer, and then I moved to Melbourne. Then that was in Perth. Moved to Melbourne, had one more, and then back to
what was
Dublin.
the amateur background then?
My amateur background was alright. I only boxed though for 4 years, but I won 2 All-Irelands. So I wasn't really taking it too serious either.
So how long was the break then from
the break?
The
Was 2 years.
2 years.
2 years out of the ring.
Nothing.
What happened was I was training for 2012 Olympics, and well, my goal was 2012 Olympics, and I broke my wrist, so I was out of sport, and then as you do at 18, I was going out drinking, partying with the lads, and it was just I lost interest in boxing. I literally just lost interest, and it's a sad thing because I know so many other great Irish amateur boxers who the exact same thing happened. They got an injury and then they just kind of fell out of love with the sport, and they were probably better amateur boxers than I was, so it's crazy that I'm in this position. But like I said, boxing almost chose me. I didn't really choose to do this. It just happened, and then I got the phone call for Sky was coming over on the return of the Mac bill, and I got that chance just kind of came at me, and I was like, okay, I'll fight.
You got to take your opportunities.
I was going to say, it's not just getting the opportunities, it's what you make of them. And
100%.
The fights you win, you're never in a dull fight, and the way that you make those fights happen,
yes,
that's what people are drawn to. Because, as you say, it's one thing having the door open for you, but you've got to then kick the hinges, haven't you? And that's
and you've done that, mate.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I needed to do that because, like I said, nobody knew who I was when I came back from Australia. I didn't have a massively successful amateur career. I won 2 All-Irelands, but I wasn't like on the Olympic team. I wasn't, I wasn't known to the world. And then prize fighter set me up, but even prize fighter just happened. That was, if I won that fight when I fought in the Tree Arena, I got on the prize fighter, and then that just happened, and I just happened to win that. You know what I mean? I just kept rolling with the punches, and it was crazy. It was like every time an opportunity came, I just took it with both hands. And I've always, when it was time to step up, I've always been able to do it, which is something that only true quality fighters can actually do.
Let's talk about this year, because the rematch came with Declan Geraghty. As you said, you fought him in your third professional contest. He was disqualified for, I think, a headbutt in the fourth.
Headbutt and an elbow, yeah.
And that was a real tear-up, and you could just see the potential of you guys fighting when you both had a bit more experience. So another, 3.5 years, I think, between those two contests, and you met again in the summer. Obviously, both Dubliners, huge rivalry. It was in Belfast, wasn't it?
Yes, so it was in Belfast.
You had all of that behind you to build into what was going to be an excellent fight. And you said, listen, he's going to be a good 5-round fighter, but after that, this is when I'm going to start. And you just bludgeoned the guy. It was just, he was folded and folded and folded. And listen, your record is not one that suggests you're a puncher, but as we said before, sometimes just because someone's record suggests they're not a puncher doesn't mean that
it's the opponents as well. Yeah. The durability of the opponents. It doesn't matter. You look at these guys. I'm telling you now, everyone can punch. Everyone can punch.
Boxers, we work on power. We work on punching day in, day out in the gym. We all hit hard. It's not like we all tip. We can hit hard, but the thing is, you have to look at my level of like opponents.
Yeah.
I've fought like Stephen Frost, like Gary Buckland, all these very early on in my career. When normal people are fighting blow over opponents and getting these 10 knockouts under the record, my like 4 or 6 I've been fighting European champions, British champions, you know, in Foster and Buckland. And then like I've been fighting good opponents my whole career. I never really got things easy, you know, that way. So that's why my record doesn't show that I'm a puncher. But I'm not one of them concussive punchers where one shot will just knock you down. I'm more like every shot is hard and it'll creep up on you in 12 rounds.
Speed and accuracy as well, volume.
It helps, you know what I mean? But I'm one of them, I'll break your heart and then I'll break your body and I'll just smash you up.
Listen, I believe you and we're never getting in the rough.
I want to see that. Well, so what, just quickly, not looking past your opponent on Saturday,
of course
what
not.
is it in Farmer that you see?
There's so many holes. Listen, we seen it when Prince Nassim went over to America. Everyone thought he was unbeatable. He was a king, you know what I mean?
Kelley.
Against Barrera,
sorry.
Against Barrera.
Kelley was a hell of a fighter.
You got put down
about 4 times.
Yeah, but all you need to do against a fighter like him is do all the fundamentals correct. You know what I mean? You don't need to do something amazing. You know, boxing is all about doing the fundamentals correct. If you can do everything correct, then you're a really good fighter. There's a lot of people, like, for instance, Farmer, he drops his hands. He's a powerful puncher, believe me, even though his record suggests that he can bang a little bit. You can see he's tip. And the thing is, all his shots come from his hip, and the hands drop back down to the hip. That's great for 4 rounds, because everyone's reaction's fast for 4 rounds. But when it gets into the 11, 12 round, then your reactions are slower, and I'm going to ping that little head off him. Trust me when I say it, I guarantee
Close your eyes, it's almost Conor McGregor.
No, trust me when I say it, I'm going to smash him up, I'm going to break the body off him, I'm going to annihilate him. He's going to be the exact same as Declan Gallagher. He's going to be great for 4 rounds, 5 rounds. It's going to be a test for 4 or 5 rounds. It's going to be dangerous. But once you get over that
fight,
mate, I got close.
Here, anywhere.
1,000,000%. I fight him in his hometown. I fight him in his front garden. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter where we fight. A fight is a fight. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You get in the ring, it's only you and him. So it don't matter who's on the outside or where we are or whatever. That stuff doesn't bother me, you know. And I've fought in Ireland once, so I am always on the roads. Like, not in Ireland, sorry, I fought in Belfast many times. But I mean, I fought in Dublin, like my hometown, Dublin. I fought there once. I fought in Belfast a good few times, and that was amazing. The support I was getting.
That ring is.
But like I said, like I fought in Germany on a 10 rounder. I fought in England so many times. I'm always away from home. So for me, it really doesn't matter where I'm fighting.
I guess it's great, isn't it, that this new Dazn connection with Matchroom, the opportunities for UK and Irish fighters now be far easier than what they would have been, and those negotiations can happen so much easier. Well, listen, whether you go to Tevin Farmer in the States, whether he comes here, we wish you all the very best for that next year. But first, take care of business on Saturday.
Thank you. Of course I will. I appreciate it, lads. Thank you for having me.
Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Cheers, what a privilege. Cannot wait to see him in action, Darren. And one man that we know is renewed, he's ready for action on Saturday, is Mr. Kell Brook, the headliner in Sheffield. Kell, welcome to the show. Darren's got your microphone. Good to see you, mate. How are you?
Very well.
Looking good, didn't he?
Looking good. So good. Kell,
like a baby.
fresh and ready to rumble again. I mean, got back to winning ways earlier on this year after, I guess, what was probably the hardest 12 to 18 months of your life. You took Gennady Golovkin at pretty short notice. It was kind of out of the blue. It was a massive step up in weight and in obviously the greatest middleweights we've seen in recent times. Gave him a hell of a fight. Is there maybe an argument looking back that when you then came back down to fight Errol Spence, that was a little bit too soon, and after the injury you sustained, you just think it was a case of timing and not being quite in the right place in your life?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, going up to middleweight, putting a lot of muscle on, then draining myself back down. My immune system was low, killing myself to make welterweight. I got ill bad 3 times. So, real looking back, of course I should have pulled out. But when I know that I filled this place up, and I thought, you know, I'm not one of them guys. I'm one of them. You know, I've sold all these tickets. I think I've just got to get in and try and blag it. You know, but you know, for that kind of opponent in Errol Spence, I should have really. Looking back, of course, I should have pulled out. But it is what it is. Everything's meant for a reason. I feel reborn. I feel brand new, and I feel like a big performance is going to be happening Saturday.
I think it's the first time I've seen you with cheeks.
Yeah.
Like the day before the weigh-in.
Very, very fresh. Just talk to us about this connection with John Fuchs. Where do you guys go back to? How long have you known each other?
We've known each other for years. We've actually boxed each other 3 times in the amateurs. He was the last person to ever beat me in the amateurs. You know, and what I noticed about John Fuchs is I was beating everyone in amateurs, everyone, and they're all amateurs. And when I got in with him, it was very professional, slowed things down, walked away, did little dummies, you know, and I was watching him as I'm fighting and thinking, you know, he's a brilliant fighter, and he's brought that, you know, into the professional game for me. You know, he's got a good eye looking in when I'm sparring. You know, he's doing little dummies, move your head, just little things, because it's hard to learn. You know, an old dog new tricks, but just the little things I'll sharpen up on, and you're going to see Saturday.
So what, you always in contact with him then, since the amateurs?
I've always been in contact with him, you know, even since the amateurs. He's got a gym, you know, up the road from here, and I always like pop in and see him because he's a good friend of mine. But you know, when I needed to move, even when we first fought, straight away.
I'm not going to ask you anything about Amir Khan because you're probably bored to death of hearing that name. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And ultimately, the fact that this is a super welterweight title eliminator, WBA held by Hearn currently, as well as a couple of other belts, it means that you have got options on the table in 2019 at the top level, no matter what happens, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be it's going to be a good fight for me Saturday, and then I'm obviously looking to 2019 to fight the top dogs, the big dogs. You know, in America, the Hearns, the Charlo, you've got Thurman, you've got Sean Porter. I've already been in the division between 1 and 2 is spectacular, and I'm going straight for them guys in 2019. That's the way I'm going. I'm heading that way.
So you know, you were saying up there you could fight for another 3-4 years. Do you want to fight for another 3-4 years?
You know, it's like I'm loving training. I'm loving keeping fit. I'm loving learning again. Yeah. I'm happy. I'm happy every day. I've been away as much as it's how bad it is being away from my kids and stuff. But just like getting up, you know, the sunny thing in Spain, and just, you know, get plenty of water, training, and just having crack with lads, you know, go-karting, little things in between, but making sure that work gets done. I'm buzzing. I'm happy, and I've got many years left, I believe.
How long have you been a pro now? It's been ages. But at the same time,
I lost count.
You're in double figures.
Double figures, sure. Yeah, double figures. But like I said, I don't feel old. I don't feel old. I feel I've not had many wars. You know, I very rarely get hit. So
how is the injury?
I don't even think about it, to be honest with you.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine. Yeah. You know, I had an X-ray on it, and it were the bone had gone back thicker, and there's a plate over it as well. Right? Yeah. So it's stronger than ever.
Amazing. Well, listen, you're looking stronger than ever, looking fitter than ever. So we wish you all the very best on Saturday night. Thanks for taking the time to come and speak to us as well.
Man.
Cheers, Kel. Well, there we have it. It's all from today's press conference. Kell Brook and Michael Zerafa, Saturday night on Sky Sports for a WBA Super Welterweight title eliminator. We'll be back tomorrow at the weigh-in around about 1 o'clock, so tune in on Matchroom social media. From Darren, myself and Kell Brook, thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow afternoon.